C major is the only major key that has no sharps or flats. For any other major key, you're going to need to use a sharp to get those half steps where you need them to be. So, in the key of C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Sing it with me. C, D, E, F. Notice a half step there. No black key in between. F, G, A, B, C. Again, there's no black key between B and C or E and F, and that lines up perfectly with our half steps of Mi to Fa and Ti to Do. Isn't that lucky for C major? He doesn't have to have any sharps in order to get his half steps in the right place. But for every other major key, you're going to need to use some sharps or flats to make it sound right. Alright, so for example, if we were in the key of G major, we would say Do is here. So T would be, if Do is G, then T would be F. But there's a problem here. Do to T is a half step. So we need, Do to T is a half step, but G to F is a whole step. So we need to do something about that. What do? We raise the F up to here. So we get Do, Ti, Do. So that's how you get your Do to T in G major. So I've got some examples below, and I'm going to sing the solfege for you. This should make the writing of the notes pretty easy. However, the tricky part will be finding where to put the sharps. My hint to you is, look for the half step. As always, I will sing, and then you pause and write. And I recommend that you write out all the notes, and then figure out where the half step is. And then you can, after you've unpaused the video, you'll see me giving the answers. So here's the first one. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Pause and write. And here's your answer. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. However, since this is starting on a G, and we know that G to F is a whole step, but Do to T is a half step, we need to raise that F up in order to make it the right distance from Do to T. Do, T. Next example. Do, re, ti, do. Starting on D, pause and write. And here's your answer. Do, re, ti, do. So we have our T to Do here, which is C to D. If we look on the big piano, C to D is a whole step. So what do we need to do? We need to sharp the C so it gets a half step to D. So we have a half step from T to Do. Now we have Do, re, ti, do. Next one. So, fa, mi, la, so, fa, mi. Pause and write. And here's your answer. So, So, fa, mi, la, so. Whoops, I made a mistake. So, fa, mi, la's up here. So, fa, mi. So where is our half step? From fa to mi. But the problem? G to F, again, that's a whole step. We need to raise up the F in order for it to be just a half step away. Here we go again though, fa to mi, G to F. We need to raise it up. So, fa, mi, la, so, fa, mi. And our final example. So, mi, do, ti, ti. Pause and write. And here's your answer. So, mi, do, ti, ti. Where's our half step? From do down to ti. G to F, not a half step. It's a whole step. If we played this without the half step, it would sound like this. So, mi, do, ti, ti. Ugh. So, mi, do, ti, ti. So we need to raise that F up so that it's just a half step below the G. And that leads me to my next rule about sharps. If you have two sharps in a row in the same, well, two sharps in the same measure, which these would be, you don't need to write it the second time. You can just say, everybody, you gotta know that the first time I sharp it means that it's still sharp if we're still in the same measure. Well, that's all the examples for today. I highly recommend you try these out on your instrument so you can hear the difference between when you add the sharp or when you leave the sharp out. It's really, really dramatic. All right, if you have any questions, bring them to class and we'll get you all cleared up. Thanks a lot. See you next week.